So it's a last word. Obviously, I'm joined by Edgeworth of Edgestream. We're gonna go over the world record route real quick. Not just the changes I made, but the route in general. Because this is a game, Shadowrun, that uh, there's still a lot of room for growth in this record, and hopefully someone else can jump in and help me out. Because I'm 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 not bored with this game. It's a pretty good game, but I'm always hoping for more people to run it. So yeah, thanks for joining me, Edward.
Yeah, no problem. I've had a lot of fun with this casually, and it looks like a pretty sweet speed run too.
Hang on one sec. Let me make you louder. Okay, say that again.
Again?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you at all.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So I was just saying this is a fun game to play casually. Speed run does got a good chunk of the content out, but you're still going through most of the plot lines, so you do get to see most of the game.
Absolutely. And I don't know why this isn't doing that. Oh, because that's the wrong thing. Yeah, and it should show. Nah, there we go. Yeah, one of the things about this, the RNG is it's really heavy early, which is about when you want it to be heavy in the run. You know, because like if you're gonna reset a lot, let it be early in the run, and then it doesn't really come back until the end, where it will just completely screw you up, as happened to me fairly recently. But mostly it's a nice fast run. It's got a pretty good balance. It doesn't have a lot of tech that's it's very difficult. So with that, I'm just going to jump right in. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yep, I can see it fine.
Excellent. So just a couple things I wanted to talk about to start. First, obviously, this is isometric. So normally, when you're moving in eight directions, you want to move diagonally as much as possible because diagonally is faster. But the way this is set up, because it's isometric, you're going to want to move straight as often as possible, and you're going to cover double the distance. All right. The other thing to talk about is the cursor, which is sort of clunky. You know, it works really well for casual play, but in terms of getting somewhere fast, it can be very difficult to be precise. So anytime that I can move my character up to something, I'm going to do that. Anyway, this first room's fairly simple. You've got the scalpel that you need to pick up. I'm using the R button to pick things up. You can see the R button is typically going to be the shortcut for opening and closing things and for grabbing things. And then the other thing in here, you can see the slap patch is in the fridge, but you can see just where my cursor is. There's actually a couple pixels that you can grab it without opening the fridge. So if you run along this, the bottom of this table here, you can usually line it up so you can pick that up.
It's sticking out of the corner.
Yeah,
Pull it out of the corner.
yeah, the fridge is empty now. But yeah, first room, you just need to grab these two things and then you're out of here. These more guys not happy to see you alive. And we're just coming out here. So this is going to be the first person you talk to. Casually, you're supposed to follow him, but this is a good time to talk real quick about keywords. The bolded words are obviously keywords. Some of them, like that's how most of the progression works. Right, most of the things that you need to get to, you can't get there until you have the right keyword from the right person. So from this person, we really want the word firearms, and we're going to hit talk to bring up firearm, and then we're just going to go. So how much did you play this game casually?
I got to let's see. the the ship, and then just kind of struggle through that.
Oh yeah, that can be a rough area. Um, but yeah, I mean, definitely familiar with the features. Then, you saw how long it took for that dog to drop his dog collar. We typically don't want to wait for that. So the route when we come out and we immediately, like, we're gonna talk to the guy. We're gonna open the gate and then we're just gonna leave. And when we get back around, that dog collar is still gonna be there. So we're going around, and we're there's a room here where we can sleep, which is a good place to grind early. But we're not going to do any of that. We're going to walk in here, and he's got the door key, and that door key is going to get us in early. And this is the first place where it's really easy to lose the run to RNG. There can be just up here. There can be a hitman that can do a few damage to you, and then when you go in here, oftentimes there's a hitman in this window. We got lucky. This hitman, most of these enemies can do 1 to 3 damage. This guy can do 1 to 5, and he shoots very quickly. So just this run up here, you can take 15 damage and have to like pretty much end the run right there and just restart, because it's going to be very difficult to progress with that. And then the third door here is going to be the one that you can open with the door key. We've got shades in here that we need, and then there's a phone number that we need. We can pick up the phone number, but it's easier to just examine it. Right? We don't want it in our inventory, so you're just gonna hit L to examine, and that's gonna. Jake's very smart. He'll memorize the numbers.
Yeah, it's kind of important during this run to not pick up anything that you don't need, and to be sort of very terse in your conversations, just because if you have to, the extra menuing time is going to add up over an hour long run.
Absolutely. So anytime we pick anything up, it's going to be something that we need. Anytime we get a keyword, like, you don't have as much control over keywords because people just throw them out, but most of the time the keywords are going to be something you need. So you don't need Hitman, but obviously you're forced to talk to that guy and you needed firearms. So when you come out here, if you just hold to the left, you're going to wind up standing directly under this thing and going to be able to just immediately grab it on the way. So it works out pretty nicely. And having that dog collar in your inventory early actually helps push things. It helps the inventory management. But yeah, we're going to follow this guy and he's going to die.
I was going to say, it's one of those things where anytime you can reduce the amount that you're in the cursor menu as well, it helps out. So you got to run over the top of the dog collar anyway. Might as well take advantage of the cursor distance.
Exactly. There are a few times when you're going to like be using the cursor long range, but most of the time, if you're running past the thing, you want to get as close as possible to it. And this gun is a good example. Um, I'm just going to run up, like, I instead of trying to navigate the cursor over there and everything, I'm just going to run right up to it and grab it, and then from here, you notice it takes like about a second, maybe 2 seconds for the menu to actually come up. So you want to make the most out of every menu. So in this case, we're going to use the Beretta pistol, but instead of exiting, we're like, whenever you put on the shades, it's going to exit the menu for you. So we're going to put the shades on while we're in this menu now. The other thing is the shades are at the bottom. This is why the dog collar in your inventory right now is really useful, because if I hit the R button, it's going to move to the end of the inventory, and then I can hit up to go straight back, and that's going to be faster than scrolling all the way down. So I'm going to quickly put the shades on, and this orc takes 8 damage before he dies. He usually isn't a problem, but I mean, RNG can be a jerk, and sometimes it's going to take a long time to kill him. And sometimes he's going to do a lot of damage to you. And then you're going to examine his body and find this leather jacket, which is most useful for the money, but it's also going to be helpful for Kitsune. She's only got strength 1, so the only armor she can wear is the leather jacket. And then right here, this is easy to miss. Those eyes are a dog. When you cross this line right here, this the shadow of this lamppost, that's about how far you have to go to get the dog to talk to you. So you're gonna cross that. That little dialogue balloon's gonna come up, and then you just run as quickly as you can out of here. But you need the dog keyword, and this is the only place that you can get it. The dog will show up later, but he doesn't give you the dog keyword. So, and then out we go. A good time to finish there. Like I try to aim for under 2 minutes and 50 seconds, but RNG isn't always going to be on your side. If you can get out of here under 3 minutes, then that's pretty good. And that's my usual. Like my first split is gat got. Because I got the gun. So yeah, if you split at 3 minutes there, you're in usually pretty good shape. This window can also have another hitman. We've actually been really lucky not to have any, because I mean I had the fastest I've ever done for that split was 241, and then immediately I had a hitman here that killed me, so that ended the run. And we're going into the Grid Reaper Club. Um, this is one of these instances where you're actually going to use the cursor because the cursor is a little bit faster, and you're going to have to wait after you talk to this guy. So the first thing to do is talk to the club manager, and he's going to grab you the iced tea, and it's going to take him a while. So in the meantime, you'll talk to this guy, but mostly you're just going to be waiting. And he's going to give you this gentleman's going to give you the heal keyword, which is not required to beat the game, but it's safety that pretty much everybody uses. And then he's got two other keywords that you need. You need data jack and you need hiring. And he is kind enough to provide you with both of them. If you talk to him, he's going to say Shadowrunner, which you don't need. But when you ask about Shadowrunner, he's going to say Deckers and hiring. And then you ask about Decker for data jack. So it's talk, Shadowrunners, and Decker to get data jack. And then this gentleman here, he won't say anything to you until you give him an iced tea. He's a high maintenance person. But you're going to really quickly get the tickets keyword from him and ask him about tickets to get Grinder and Lone Star. And the two that you need are Grinder and Lone Star. Grinder was the name of a scalper that sold the tickets, and he was wasted by Lone Star. So asking about Lone Star is going to let you pretend to be them. And that's all that's going on in here. And we're coming up to our first. Oh, see, he's in the window here. This is potentially quite dangerous. You see, he just did 5 damage to me. So this is the first trick, and Edge, you probably didn't notice this casually, but when you use an item, like I'm going to use this scalpel, you can see I'm facing down. I'm going to turn around before I wind up using the scalpel. So if I use this and I hold to the right, you can see before the cursor comes up, Jake turns to the right. What that means is there's a couple frames where you can input before the cursor comes up. And that's sort of real important. Because this is, like, during those frames, you can actually hit the start button. So here we've got the leather jacket, and I'm going to give it, but then I'm going to hit the start button during those frames, if I can. Let's see if I can. Yep, there we go. And that allows you to give the leather jacket again. So this is one of the more, like, it's the only trick, but it can be difficult to do several times in a row. And you're going to have to, because what this does is I can give this to the businessman and then give it back to myself. So I got the 1,000 Nuyen for it, but I still have the leather jacket, you see.
Gotcha. So you're just duplicating by closing out of the menu and just kind of using a copy of the items instead.
Exactly. I mean, you're creating two cursors that will like it's the way it's set up. When you hit give, this is still in your inventory, right? I'm actually having difficulty doing it again. Hang on. So the leather jacket is still in your inventory when you hit give, right? It doesn't actually leave your inventory until you hand it to someone. So what I've done is I've created two cursors. So if I cancel this, it's going to give another cursor, right? Right. So, and both of these cursors are given a leather jacket. So I can give it to the businessman and then give it back to myself. And that's how all the duplication works in this seed or in this game. You can also use it to do grenades a little bit faster, though you got to be careful with that because you can accidentally underflow your grenades and not be able to buy them again. But yeah, you're gonna sell it to him. You only have to do it once at the beginning. You're gonna sell it to him, and then you're gonna ask him about Lone Star, and he's gonna sell you a Lone Star badge. And then you're gonna ask him about firearms 6 times because he's gonna give you 6 grenades. The old route would sell the leather jacket twice. I did not. This new route does not. We're going to keep the leather jacket. It keeps us safer in the arena, and it's you're going to lose a lot fewer runs to Kitsune dying. She's really good at dying.
Yeah, it's also important for that modification you made that we'll see later too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we're gonna pick up the cyber deck. For whatever reason, this has a huge box, and you're able to pick it up from really far away. So I mean, normally you can't pick anything up this far away, but this one you can. So you're just gonna run in here, grab that, and go.
Yeah, you just yank the wires and you're good.
Yeah. So this is a good time to talk about. Like, I'm not going to talk about every transition, but the way it works on these streets is if you are on the sidewalk, it'll put you on that sidewalk on the other side. And if you're on the street, it'll put you in the middle of the street. So I didn't do this properly in the world record run, in fact, but you can save about a second by staying on this sidewalk because it's going to spawn you on the sidewalk here. Whereas if I'm just on the street, it's going to put me in the middle of the street. You see?
Yep.
So yeah, I actually lost time in the run by going straight to the side and wind up in the middle of the street. But there are times when you just have to be paying attention to what side you're going to come out of. Other than that, always you're going to try to be running side to side rather than diagonally. And before you go in here, we're going to equip that leather jacket. And we're really menuing just so we can put on the Lone Star badge. The reason that we waited until we grabbed this cyber deck is because it moves the Lone Star badge down in the inventory and gives us one fewer input. Because it allows us to just jump to the end of the inventory and use it like that. And then this is one of the few times when you're going to use the cursor rather than running up to them. Because you are actually going to have to run up here. But this mortician takes his sweet time opening these cabinets, and there's lots that you can do in the meantime. So we're going to talk to him from far away. We're going to ask him about Grinder. And then when I'm going to try and do this all in one go. When I say yes, I'm going to open the door that I'm standing next to and then run over to the cabinets. And he unlocks this one, and you can grab the cred stick, and then as soon as he stands there, he's unlocked the other one, and you can grab the tickets and run away. And you can get out there before he even says, hey, why don't you look for them yourself? believe it or not, opening that door before I went over to the cabinets was something I didn't think of for a long time. This route has only had like two pairs of eyes on it. So the thing I talked about before with the sidewalk matters a lot here, right? Here it's really easy to just go around the corner, but you actually lose a lot of time because of how long it takes for you to cross this massive street here. Whereas you can save a lot of time just by when you go around the corner, making sure you're on the street first. And then you're just going to come out just halfway past. But we're nearly done with 10th Street here. We're going to open this door with a scalpel. If you examine the door, it'll say something sharp could open the door. So this door has this shaman who could use a slap patch. Again, the hitbox is really far away, so I'm actually closer than I need to be. And then, of course, it doesn't work. And he's going to give you the magic fetish if you talk to him. If you forget to hit talk, then he'll just stand there. And you don't actually need the magic fetish, but you need the keyword for it. And then try and run away before he disappears.
So is it possible to duplicate that slap patch?
Yes, but you would have to use the second one right away because it's not something that you can give. Right? It's something that you use. There's no like items like the. Yeah, you can duplicate anything that you can give. Typically, it's just weapons and armor because you can give them to yourself. You can use a slap patch twice. So if you've only got one slap patch left and you want to use it twice, you can do it. Usually, though, it's usually it's useful just because it pauses the game, but it's not useful in terms. It's an inefficient way to heal, but it's very safe to have one because anytime I hit the Y button to open the item menu, it pauses the game. So it's a lot faster to heal. Anyway, we're almost done in here. We're going to go into the cage. We're going to give that ticket that we found to the bouncer. And then we're going to use this cred stick on this handy-dandy videophone. And you can queue up phone calls. The 2 times that you use the phone, you actually have to make 2 phone calls. So you're going to call Sassy, and then while it's dialing, you're going to use the cred stick again. And you don't have to be super fast doing that because you're waiting for this bouncer to move out of your way. So this is Sassy, your now ex-girlfriend. You're going to talk to her. She's going to talk. You say you're still getting calls. You're going to ask about the calls, and she's going to say Glutman and give you the phone number. I'm going to call him, and his secretary, when you ask about Glutman, is going to say that he's at the cage, and that's going to spawn him up here. And when you talk to him, that's going to be how you leave this section. And you can actually talk to him. Not quite there. Yeah, see, he's not actually on the screen, but you can talk to him here. And that's going to be how I end the split. A good time would be something below 7:15. Believe the world record had a really great time. I had 6:56. That's not usual. Anything under 7 minutes is really awesome. But yeah, talking to him, it's going to give you a cutscene, and you're going to go straight to the car yards. Typically, like the old route would sleep here, and I don't. You can get through the arena without taking much damage. The only fight that's going to be dangerous is the king. So that's why if you have like 6 or HP or something like that, it's usually not worth it. 15 is going to be probably fine. But the original route would sleep uh, twice before they even fought the king, and we don't sleep at all until the king is dead. So we're going to immediately talk to this lady. If you ask her about anything at all, she's going to respond with the king. So you just ask her about something to get the king. Talking won't do it. You just have to ask her about anything, and then you go straight back here to the arena. And we're going to do 3 fights and then the king. And I got to talk about how to turn in red. Are you familiar with the concept turns red from like video games?
I probably am, but not from that terminology. So.
Yeah, it's most common from like the Zelda games. I'm sorry, the gang member I should say will follow you, and all you have to do is put the fire pit in between you, and then you can just sit here and take pot shots. But yeah, like from the Zelda games or from any game, like when an enemy changes his pattern or changes his attack pattern after taking enough damage, that means like he turns red. And a lot of the time, in like a lot of old games, they actually will visibly turn red to indicate that their attack pattern has changed. Right? Enemies here turn red in the arena, and normally they start out by running back and forth and shooting at you. But once they turn red, they will typically plant themselves in a spot and wait for you to get close enough to shoot at them. And you can just shoot. You can just shoot them from afar and be fine. So that's how we beat these next 2 fights. So the first one is going to turn red after 1 damage. So what you're going to see me do is I'm going to step up, just a little bit up, and then I'm going to try shooting at him. And once he's taken 1 damage, he'll move to the bottom. So you can see he took 2 damage, so now he's just going to stand down there, not shooting at me. I can shoot at him. And that's why it's not very difficult to get through this particular fight. The next one's going to turn red after 6 damage. So I start out by just throwing a grenade, and usually that'll do it. But I mean, I've had bad RNG, and you can lose a run here. Oh, that did 9 damage, which is great. The grenade will do anywhere between 1 and 13 damage. So you can see when it turns red, he just moves up here. So you're going to move down after throwing the grenade, and then he can't shoot you. Like if I get close, he'll shoot me. But so you can see we took 0 damage in the first few fights. I have enough karma to go add to body and to firearms and everything, which is what the previous route did. But you don't need any of that. The grenades will usually, and I say usually, so I'm gonna make a save state real quick just in case it doesn't happen this time. Usually, the king will turn red from 5 grenades. You need to do 32 damage to him, and the grenade will do anywhere between 0 and 12 because he's got 1 armor. So you're going to wait for him to stand and start shooting. If you start out running, he's going to run too. But we're going to wait until he's standing there shooting. Then we're going to throw grenades at him, and then we're going to move over here if he's not done shooting. Because that'll give us a better chance. But we're going to throw some grenades. All 5 of them. Ideally faster than I'm doing it, because I can take damage here. Looks like the first one only did 4. That's not very much. The second one did 8, though. And they barely did any damage, and this is how you lose a run. And that's why I saved. So yeah, sometimes you're just going to lose runs here. Like I said, the RNG is far more of a problem early. It's safer to go sleep first, but you don't need to, and I'm not willing to blow like 20, 30 seconds this early in a run where, like at this point, it's less than 10 minutes into the run.
Yeah, and I guess it's safer to buy more grenades as well, but you're adding up time there.
Well, the most you can carry is six.
Okay.
So it would be safer for the king fight to not use one on the heavy dude, but I mean, the heavy dude will kill you actually pretty quickly because if you get low enough HP, then the arena boss will like call the fight, which means your effective HP is like 5 lower than it normally is. But yeah, you can see he turned red from the grenades, and then when I go over here, just like before, he's going to plant himself. He's not going to fire at me. I'm going to fire at him. Sometimes the grenades will even kill him outright. He's got 45 total HP. He will turn red at 32. So you just need to do 32 damage, and then, yeah, that was easy enough. And that's all the arena fights. This is like 3 hours, 5 hours of casual gameplay, and we're almost 10 minutes into the run here. So we're going to bring our strength up to 4 so we can use the shotgun. We're going to bring our charisma up to 4 so we can hire 2 runners, and we're going to bring our firearm up to 3. You can bring it up to 4 later, but you don't really need it because weapons have accuracy. Just a moment. What's up? Alright, we're fine. And I'm back. So, at this point, we should have 5,000 New Yen, which is enough to buy the. It's enough to buy the mesh jacket, which is unfortunately, like that's all the New Yen you're gonna need. Right? I say unfortunately because the next thing we're gonna do is duplicate it 12 times. And that's this is where I lose most of my runs because I'm still not super good at it. So the trick you saw before, we're gonna do it 12 times, 6 times with the vest and 6 times with this Defiance shotgun. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna buy the vest, and we're going to immediately sell it. To the dwarf here for 2,500. The shotgun costs 1,500, so or 15k. So we're gonna have to sell it 6 times.
Because you can basically print money here, it kind of ruins the usefulness of negotiations. So.
Yeah, you're never going to need negotiation. You're never going to need anything that really saves you money because it's not faster than doing this. That's sort of a positive and a negative because, well, for me, because this is a trick that I fail a lot. You only have to sell the gun 5 times, but I do it 6 because that cuts out one of these tricks later. And because I'm so bad at this trick, as we can see, I'd much rather fail it early and lose a run early than late. So once you get past this dwarf here, you're not going to have to do the trick for another 30 minutes, and you're only going to have to do it a couple times more. So this is really the most stressful part of the run for me, and just the most technical split here. This is the one that's going to take the most practice for sure. But we just bought this shotgun, and we're gonna sell this 6 times as well. You can get away with only selling it 5 times, but then you have to sell it again later. So our goal is to have 45K. So I'm not mashing. The way I do it is, or the way I sort of learned to do it was, I know I just hit it 3 times in succession. I go 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. You can hit the start button to select things in the start menu. So I'm not quickly switching my thumb over to start. I'm just hitting start to hit weapons, start to hit shotgun, and start to hit give, and start to open the menu again. So that can make it a little bit easier to get the timing down. But it's still when you got a good run going, like if you just like the king died outright, or your RNG was really good here, that's when I'm most likely to fail this like 6 or 7 times and just lose all of that time that I gained. Because that's how I handled pressure.
I definitely heard the tone of voice change when you were doing that. You were down to the last minute in the world record run.
Yeah, that's the tone of voice will change for sure when I'm doing this. So now we're gonna equip the shotgun. We're gonna equip the mesh jacket, which we're gonna wear for the majority of the run, and then we're gonna buy 6 grenades. And if you're out of here, like the previous world record got out of here in I don't know what it was, like 1414. Let's see what my time was. My time for my world record was 1346, and that was real good, but it was still actually sort of a bad time. Oh wait, hang on. Yeah, it was actually sort of a bad time for me, because I still failed it quite a bit, but I was just ahead of this at that point. So you're gonna go into this talisman shop. You're gonna buy the sharp stake. You're gonna buy the potion bottle, and you're gonna talk to this woman who, for some reason, knows the phone number of Dark Blade. So you want to get her phone number. So you're gonna ask her about talismans, and she's gonna give you her phone number. And if you forget that, then it's a drag. 'Cause she's the only one who can give you the Dark Blade phone number, and you never want to have to come back to Old Town anymore. Anyway, once that's done, Zoph was actually in chat earlier saying, "Do you get to do the part where a bomb starts counting down in your brain?" Yeah, that's absolutely what you have to do here. You can't beat the game without using your computer skill, and you can't use your computer skill without fixing your data jack. So this street doc's going to do it. This is where you need the data jack keyword that we got earlier, and then you're going to ask him for an examination, and he's going to give you for $500. He's gonna do that, and this is a nice time to take. Like you have a brief break here because this is just a cutscene. There's no mashing or anything. Typically, if you're here before 16 minutes, like usually I'm at about 15 something when I'm here. Um, so that can be if you're below 16, that can be really exciting. But yeah, now I have a bomb ticking in my brain, which means I can't save. And we're going to go directly to Dr. Maplethorpe to get it taken out. He's real expensive, but we grifted that dwarf for 45k, so we're going to be fine. And I like this is another adaptation. I went in here. The reason that I got extra charisma instead of getting extra body is because I wanted to handle the Rustilettos a little faster. So we come in here and we hire Orifice. He's gonna do a fair amount of damage. He just doesn't fire very quickly, and he's gonna be helpful. And the only other thing we need to do before we can progress is we need to grab the water from that water fountain. We couldn't do this before because we didn't have the potion bottles, but we used the potion bottles to to grab some pure water from that fountain. Although I don't really think that that fountain has actually pure water.
Well, I mean, it's probably okay minus the digit, right?
Yeah, I mean they say you need water from a clean and an unclean source, and I'm like, this is the clean source. Okay, so to get it, if it looks like I'm close enough right here, but it's going to say that I'm not close enough. All right, there's a little ridge you can see right here on the edge of this fountain, and it'll bump you to the side. You just sort of have to get around that ridge before you can be close enough to the water fountain. Otherwise, you'll struggle. And yeah, so I grabbed the water. You can see the blue bottle contains water. And that's all you need from here. You're never going to visit 10th Street again. You're never going to visit Old Town again. The rest of the game will take place in the largest area, which is downtown. So Orifice will only stick around for like 10 fights, which is fine. You just want him for the Rustilettos mission. I didn't put his... I didn't heal... Or my health is only at 30, like what it starts at, so it's possible to take a whole lot of damage. And
It's funny because, like, in a casual run, you can see, like, the bar go halfway across the screen. And, no, not this run.
yeah, I have gotten to the end with my health only at 30 still. It really depends how much extra karma you come across. Obviously, if you run into more encounters, that's going to make it safer, but it's also going to cost you time. Anyway, up here, there's two dudes, and it's a faster fight just having Orifice here. You don't need to talk to him, but this iron key you do need. And it can be a real drag just because the Nuyen is on top of it. It can be a real drag to grab that iron key without wasting a couple seconds. Like, I still haven't found a setup that works for that. And then it's hard to find the doctor when you're first playing casually because you don't always realize that you can go this way. But this is where the doctor lives. Or works, or whatever. The previous route would purchase slap patches in the car yards. I don't. I purchased them from this doctor. So we're going to real quick ask her about Cortex Bomb. She's going to take her sweet time to open the door. And then you can talk to this doctor about Cortex Bomb. The cutscene gives you the keyword Cortex Bomb, so you don't have to worry about getting it. You can ask this doctor for slap patches before or after, but I always do it before, or after rather, because he's going to give you this head computer keyword, which moves heal down, so it's faster to be able to get to the heal keyword. You can buy up to 6. I always buy 3. If it makes you feel safer to buy more, you can do it. If it makes you feel faster to buy fewer, you can do it. And then we're just going to buy these uh, wired reflexes. Um, Wired reflexes make it so you're able to attack faster, which makes it a lot easier to get through here. It's actually one of the few things that's like worth the time to upgrade. And then we're out of here. I was way ahead at this point with the 1916. Um, if you're at like, if you're below 20 minutes, then it's a good time. So I was real excited about 1916. But then I went ahead and lost a bunch of time later. So now our next objective is to deal with the Rustilettos gang. And that gang is just across the way here. So when you get in here, you're gonna have a fight, obviously. And then you want to talk to the club manager for the ice keyword. If you forget, it's fine. He will always give you the ice keyword so you can get it later. And that dwarf you can't talk to from up here. So you have to go all the way down to talk to.
If only you were a little taller, you'd be able to hear him.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, not to rag on him for being short, but I mean, he could have saved me a lot of time. It costs 2,000 to hire him, but he's worth it. He is he's the second best Shadowrunner in the game. He does 6 damage, and he fires at a rate of almost 2 per second. So we're going to take him and Orifice into this Rustilettos thing. We're just going to get out of here. And because I cut out some fights, I always take these fights. You're going to get like 2 or 3 karma here. And that's worth it. And then we use the iron key that we picked up from that fight in the train station. And come in here. And having Orifice and Norbit makes these fights go real fast. If I have to use a slap patch to heal, I'll usually want to pick up the crowbar first, because the crowbar is going to make it a lot faster. You can see if I try to use the slap patch right now, I have to, because I don't have an extra item here, I have to scroll all the way down. Whereas if I pick up the crowbar, now I can just hit the R button twice and it'll be right there. Anyway. We're going to go in here, we're going to throw 6 grenades. We're going to try and clear these men out. I love the idea of somebody who walks into a room and before anyone can notice, he throws 6 grenades. Okay, usually that'll kill the gang leader. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes they low roll and don't, and he's going to give you the Drake keyword, obviously. So you can just exit out of here. And next guy you want to kill is this gang member because he'll wreck you. I try to kill that heavy dude before I move the screen out of the way. You want to grab the password, and then if you're lucky, they'll kill this dude before you even have to pull your gun out. You definitely want that 7 karma, so you can't leave here until everybody's dead. And yeah, you can see, like, I still got 12 HP. I did fine. Um, it's really helpful to have Orifice there. He's another body that can tank some hits. Like, he took 20 damage. Right? If he hadn't done that, I would have needed to use a slap patch. Sometimes you still do, but I mean, in this case, RNG was real kind to us. But he's served his purpose, so we're actually sort of hoping he takes damage now, because we're gonna kill him before we go into this club. If you ask someone, like if you ask a Shadowrunner to work for you, they'll say maybe if you had a few fewer runners. So yeah, and you can see this guy. He says you handled the Stilettos gang fine. If you don't kill the Stilettos gang, then you can't get in here. So this is Kitsune. She's important in the, or I guess Kitsune. She's important in the plot. When you talk to her, she just comes down here, and you want to ask her about Dog, and she's going to give you leaves. That's going to let you get the heal spell and sort of progress, and then we're going to hire her. She's got 170 spell points. So she's just basically going to be a mana battery for the majority of the game. You're going to use her heal spell, you're going to use her invisibility spell, and you're going to use Summon Spirit. I think I've probably lost more runs with her dying than I have with my own character dying. So you always want to pay attention to her HP.
Yeah, I can't say enough how important invisibility spell is.
Oh, absolutely. Like, once you have the invisibility spell, it's like I don't have to try for any fights anymore. Right? You can just ignore a lot of these fights. You're going to go to the docks where the dog is. And it's important to remember to grab this docks keyword. I have lost 2 runs that were on pretty good pace because I was an idiot and forgot to talk to this guy right here. He's just going to give you the docks keyword. Is my sound going all weird for you?
I can only hear it through the microphone.
Really?
Yeah, I can't hear the games itself.
Okay. I should do something about that. I mean, the sound isn't super important, but I mean, it might as well be.
And you don't use sound cues or anything, right?
No, like, there's no audio cues that are important in this. Is that better?
Maybe a little bit.
Why is it doing that?
I can hear it.
It's real weird.
Yeah.
It's just moving around on its own. Okay, well, I don't know how to fix it, so we're going to talk to this guy. When he comes up with the "you've done well," that gives me a moment to assign the spell, and that's when, like I said, I want to preserve I want to make the most out of my menus, so that's when I'm going to give this leather jacket to Kitsune. And then if I hit the L button, that'll examine her, and that's where you can equip her leather jacket. So that's going to bring her armor from 0 to 1. Like I said, her strength is only at 1 here, so there's no way to give her anything else. She can't even equip the mesh jacket. And then when this dog talks to you, you have to talk to him and get the rat keyword, because that's going to open the doors. Because the next thing you need to do is kill the rat shaman. I've selected the heal spell, so I can heal myself at any point. I'm probably going to do it before we go too far. How are we doing here? Yeah, Jake is the only one who needs HP. Norbit is fine. Kitsune is fine, so... Kitsune. I've recently been corrected on my pronunciation of Kitsune. It's actually Kitsune. And okay. Great. Maybe if she dies a little less, I'll call her by the right name. So, in here, there's a glitch that I discovered. It ruined a run. And that's that if you hit cast spell on Kitsune when she's at the corner of the screen, she might just die with all the HP. Like, she had 40 plus HP. She might just die. But real quick, you're going to use Summon Spirit in here. You can use it twice if it doesn't kill everything. You can just sort of spam that spell. You want to kill all the rats here, they give you lots of karma. What's up? Thanks very much. Okay. So we're going to cast that a few more times. I lost time here because the Rat Shaman will occasionally cast Freeze. I like to stand close to him because it means that when he casts Power Ball at me, he'll actually hit himself too. How are we doing here? We're fine. And then the previous route didn't bother to pick up the money, but I do. It's 3,000 Nuyen right here. Alright, if you don't pick that up, then you won't have enough money for the boat later. Anyway, Kitsune says, we make a great team. This is a good time to ask her about that Jester Spirit. You get the keyword automatically after you kill the rat. And she's going to say Dark Blade. When you ask her about Dark Blade, you learn about vampires. And those are the things you need to know. And then, incidentally, that dialogue was her saying that she was going to stay with you forever. Which is a weird thing, but from now on, most Shadowrunners, after you've done enough fights, will say, well, I've earned my money, and they'll leave. That will not happen in this case for Kitsune. Once you've completed the Rat Shaman with her, she will stick with you until she dies. Seriously, what the hell is going on with my sound? I don't know why it's doing that. I'm just going to mute it because otherwise it's going to annoy the hell out of me. So we no longer have sound for the game. So yeah, after we dealt with the Rat Shaman, we're going back to Jagged Nails because they have a phone. And that's really it. They're the closest phone. She's still fine. They're the only phone in the whole of the downtown. Actually, we're also here to grab the strobe, and we're going to hire Steel Flight. So this can be sort of tricky. We're going to call the Talisman. We're going to use the cred stick again. And then if we do this right, we'll be able to talk to Steel Flight before the phone comes up. Oh, I forgot to... Yeah, I forgot to kill Norbert. So normally you would have killed Norbert at this point. So we're going to ask her about Dark Blade. And she's going to give us their number, and we'll call Dark Blade. I'm going to tell them about the magic fetish. And then they'll open their door. And then we're going to come in here. I'm going to kill Norbert because we forgot. Yeah, yeah, he's a very loyal party member. So yeah, we're gonna hire Steelflight, and we're gonna talk to this guy about vampires. And he's gonna brag about how they used to have a vampire, and he freaked out at their strobe lights. So then you're gonna ask this guy about the strobe light, and he'll give you a strobe light.
Do you ever bring it back when you're finished, like yes or not?
No, actually, um, once you've reached a certain point in the game, it disappears from your inventory, and you can't, you can't get it again. So this guy, you talk to him. He's gonna. This is the hotel. This is the third. Oh, is this the second time? Yeah, this is the second time we use a bed. So we have a fair amount of karma. Um, and what we're going to use that for, we're going to take the heal spell and bring it to 2. Heal will heal you 15 HP for every level. So right now our max HP is 30, so 2 is fine. Alright, and we're going to bring our magic up to 7. Now it's possible that we took a bunch of extra fights and could, afford to put more karma into body, but usually we can't. I'm just going to bring magic up to 8 because I know it's going to get there eventually. You can also bring firearms up, but it's really not super important. Um, you've got an accuracy score out of 8, and your accuracy score is going to be 7 with the Uzi right now. So you're going to hit 7 out of 8 shots. You miss rarely enough that it doesn't make any difference. But yeah, we go this way. You actually don't need to fire your gun at all in this next section. Because we're going into the Dark Blade. What you're supposed to do, casually, is tell him about the magic fetish. And then he'll let you past. And then you go into this room to the left and talk to Vladimir. And he'll, take the magic fetish from you and all that. But none of that is fast, so none of it's fun. We're just going to immediately start combat and just run over here and grab this bronze key and run down and fight Vladimir in his true form, the vampire. Yeah. And we just used a bed, so we know that everybody's got plenty of HP, but you do have to monitor Kitsune's HP in this area. The bronze key can be used on this gate. These ghouls can do a lot of damage really fast, so you want to avoid them, but also you have to watch, because if they crowd Kitsune, you can have her take like 30 damage really quickly, and then she needs to be healed before she dies. And up here, this is a really easy boss battle. You're just going to use the strobe, and you're going to wait for him to say, I can't see. At which point, you're going to use the stake on him 3 times. and it's really cool. Just like the cred stick, you can queue up the uses of the stake, so you can actually walk away and have it be used on them. So the first time is useless. The second dialogue, and it says, "Leave me alone." That's when you can ask him about the Jester Spirit, and he's going to give you the true name of the Jester Spirit, which is a little bit on the nose, with a name like Laughlin. Like he was, his name was Laughlin, so he decided to become a jester, and then he died and became the Jester Spirit. And you get the Bremerton keyword, right? And then if you use the stake on him again, he'll die and give you 50,000 or 5,000 Nuyen. So that happens, and you just get out of here. In the world record, I finished this at 34:14. That's a decent time. I actually lost a fair bit of time just going the wrong way during this split. I just forgot where I was. So definitely could make up some time on this split. And then this is really easy to miss. But right here in the corner, there's another weapon salesman. And that right there is the Uzi. So we're going to sell our shotgun twice. Don't bother giving it back to yourself. Just give it to the shopkeeper twice. And we're going to buy the Uzi. There is a lot of controversy about whether the Uzi is useful. Because the Uzi does exactly the same amount of damage as the shotgun. The only difference is that when you hold the A button down, the Uzi will fire continuously. So you'll fire frame perfectly with the Uzi, which is not something, because of the lag in the game. Even if you were really, really good at timing your shots, you couldn't fire frame perfectly. Anyway, after that, we have to go back to the wastelands. Because if you go down to the docks right now and you say, I want to go to the Bremerton to the ship captain, he'll tell you, you can't do it because there's mermaids. And mermaids, they like the warm water. So you have to go to this guy because they were having trouble with their ice machine, so they got a bunch of ice delivered. So you talk to this guy. You can't talk to him from here. Oh, you guess you can. You can't talk to him like there's there's a point where you become close enough. I guess it's there you go. And you're gonna ask him about ice. He's gonna sell you a ton of ice for 100. You're gonna say yeah. And then he's gonna say, where do you want it dumped? And you tell him to dump it at the docks. So then the water won't be warm, and the mermaids won't be so keen to hang around the docks and attack ships.
That's a ridiculous plot.
Yeah, I mean it's a great game, but some of it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And yeah, now we have to go to the Bremerton. We don't need to bother saving and everything. We didn't use much magic because, like I said, you don't have to fire at anything in the Dark Blade. So we just go immediately to Bremerton. And this is where I saved a great deal of time over the world record for a couple of reasons. But yeah, we go down here. This guy has explosives that we need. So we kill this massive orc who is doing just a ton of damage to me. I'm gonna heal myself here. I'm gonna grab the explosives, and then, like always, I'm gonna try to get closer to him before I move the cursor. and we're going to sail to the Bremerton. It costs 1,000 gold or 1,000 money to do that. So you see how the 3,000 that I picked up from the Rat Shaman actually came into play, and yeah, you can like if you're really low on karma, you can take this fight. Right, like if for whatever reason you didn't get it, that can sort of help you out. But mostly you're just gonna run past everything. This fight you don't really want to take. It takes way too long.
Yeah, you can definitely pick up some karma, whether you want to or not, on the stairs as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, if you have a really good luck in terms of not running into any enemies, that's great. But it means you're more likely to have to deal with like you're more likely to have difficulty later. So you use that crowbar we picked up at Russ Stilettos on this last door. It's the only one that can be opened. I try to avoid killing these things just because you don't need to. Sometimes they get in your way and you just have to. And then you just have to remember you go up first. I don't know how much HP Kitsune has, but you never run out of spell points really, so rather than checking and then healing her, I'll just heal her. I'll just spam it. And here we were lucky there was no fight. Again, I'm going to run straight up to these enemies before I start shooting at them. That gives my Shadowrunners more time to do some damage. And it makes it so the cursor has less travel time. So it's just a minor optimization that you can keep in mind is just try to get all the way up to your enemies before you start firing. But yeah, the majority of what you do in Bremerton is picking up a green bottle. And if anybody can ever figure out how to get past this without a green bottle, they'll save a whole lot of time. As I'll show later. You kill this guy, he's got a safe key, you open the safe. It's got two things in it. It's got a detonator, which you need. It's got a broken bottle, which you don't. You're going to pick up the detonator and just leave. I've come pretty far. I'm just going to save real quick just because I haven't in a while. Obviously, in a real run, I wouldn't be saving, but when I have two enemies close together like this, I'm just going to throw out a summon spirit. This is another one of those runs or another one of these areas where you don't have to worry about Kitsune's magic points. She's never going to run out. So the detonator plus the explosives that we found before make a time bomb. We're going to wind up using that on a safe. If you don't want this fight, you can just like if you're finding karma and you're worried you're just taking too many encounters, you can despawn him. Here you're having a fight with Poison Ooze. You have to remember to use the potion bottles here to pick up this toxic water. And that's going to be the invisibility spell. And that's the only other spell that you need in the game. And here we have a time save. You see this switch? Did you use this? Or did you get this far, Casually Edge?
I did not.
So this switch fills the airlock with water. It won't work right now because you have to close the airlock door. So the way to do this casually, and the way that the previous route did it, is to close the airlock door and fill the airlock with water. So you remember where that switch was. I would have to use this switch to close the door, then use the other switch, so go back, take the fights up there again to get back up to that switch so I could fill it with water and then close it, um, or then drain it and then open the door and all that. It just takes forever, just going back and forth. So instead, I'm going to save here because these enemies are uh, immune to damage. You can't kill them. So what I do instead is I really quickly cast invisibility. You're supposed to like fill the room with water, and then when you get back here, they're all dead. But instead, we're just going to use the time bomb right now. Oh, come on! It's real weird how far you have to be to do that. We're going to heal ourselves real quick because, yeah, and it's going to open it. We're going to grab the green bottle, and then we're going to get the hell out of there. So all that for this green bottle, which is a toxic dissolver. But yeah, that was a pretty big time save because it saves you some transition, it saves you some fights, But it can be dangerous if you don't get the invisibility spell off right away. They can do a whole lot of damage, and they can kill either you or Kitsune. It's hard to avoid that guy. You just sort of get used to him. Here you're going to cast a Summon Spirit. It's going to make this fight a little easier, faster. It also helps when you're actually aiming at him. Okay, so this is like I've spent a lot of time here trying and I haven't been able to find a way, but if you can find a way to get past these dudes without the green bottle, then you save like 4 minutes or something. Because that switch right there on the wall that I'm too far away from, that's what I need to hit. And in the meantime, this is what you use the green bottle for. It eliminates that. You can hit this switch. And then you hit the one on the left over here. And the reason you're going to do that, these are grenades. And they do lots of damage. So, the previous run, actually, I'm not sure if they knew or if they thought it would save time to ignore it. But hitting this left switch is what triggers the grenades or the mines or whatever they are to just go off. And then you find yourself here in this extra dimension. There's a large Naga in the center there that you can fight for like 4 or 5 karma, but I've never needed to. The bubbles here can't be killed, so you just keep going. And here's our fight with the Jester Spirit. And this fight will destroy you if you're not careful. Because he's going to throw these balls out, and they do a lot of damage. So this is I've had a lot of runs and where Kitsune dies. You see how much damage, like you're doing 12 damage to him and all that. So the way I've handled this fight is mostly just to cast Summon Spirit to kill him at super long range while I'm going up there. And then he's going to fire, and you can use an audio cue for this, because you'll hear his grenades being dropped, but you can see him as well. He's going to fire 6 of them. So once he's done throwing his grenades out, you can sort of safely come up here. And it's not until he says that line of dialogue that you know that you can talk to him. So you have to do enough damage to him for his dialogue to show up, and then you can talk to him. And you're gonna say that you know he's got the name Laughlin, and that's gonna end the fight. You're gonna ask him about Drake. He's gonna give you the volcano keyword, pick up the Jester Spirit, and you have to wait. I didn't wait the first time I ever played this, so I didn't know that this portal comes out, and I walked all the way out of Bremerton. It's not fun. And this will send you back, but it's sort of different. It sends you to a different version of this area with new weapons in the shop and with the vampire still back. So casually, a lot of people killed the vampire over and over again because you can kill the vampire and then go through the Bremerton and kill the vampire again.
Yeah, you just farm money that way.
Yeah, you farm the 5,000 million that he has and the 4 or 5 karma that he gives you.
You're just repeatedly staking the dude.
Yep. If you go much farther, after you fly to Drake Volcano, the strobe will permanently leave your inventory. So you won't be able to do that anymore. But yeah, now we're going to sleep for the third time, the penultimate time. So if someone were using saves, like save, using the save file, this would be their second last time to do it. Here we're going to bring our computer skill up. It's going to take 15 karma to do so. We want our magic at 8, and then just because I have the extra karma to do so, I'm going to bring my body up and my firearm up to 4. So sometimes, like we had few more encounters than we normally would, and because of that, we were able to get enough karma to bring our body up and just get a little bit more safety. And yeah, the previous route did not have Steel Flight for this. They got him as soon as you could, and he took enough fights that he said, "Well, I'm done. I've earned my money." So it's going to make it a little safer on this split to have Steel Flight with us. So I'm going to move over to the computer before I start shooting at him. And this is really late in the game for this to be true, but this is the first time we're going to use the cyber deck and enter a computer.
Yeah, I casually use this thing all the time, but it's funny that you can get away for this long without putting any points in the computer.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't even really need to do it now because you have Steel Flight with you. But if it's better, it's safer to have points in computer. Um, I'm not going to spend too much time going over the layouts for the IC. I will say, when you press B, you initiate combat. All right, you press A to examine something. You press B to initiate combat, and when you initiate combat on one of these little diamond things, it kills all the IC, and that gives you a nice little map so you can see the route that you're going to take for these. But for anything that doesn't have this, you just basically have to learn the route. There aren't too many. Like, I thought it was going to be a really big task to learn all the IC, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's sometimes you just can't avoid getting into a fight, and that's when you have to hope RNG goes your way.
Okay, so I did this wrong, and I'm just going to go right back and do this because I made a big mistake. Um, One of the things that I was wondering why I had so much karma. It's because I was supposed to get the invisibility spell and didn't. So back to when you're fighting the Jester Spirit, you summon Spirit a bunch of times. A lot of the time, summon Spirit will just kill him. He's gonna kill me. There we go. It can be hard to find him behind his little dialogue balloon too. sort of annoying. I have on a couple times lost runs where I did enough damage to talk to him, but because he's moving up and down and he's got that dialogue balloon in front of him or that dialogue box, whatever, I couldn't actually get my cursor on him. But yeah, what I forgot to do, which makes me feel a little silly, is go straight up here and talk to Dog again. Because Dog's going to give you the invisibility spell. So we go here. We have to wait. He's going to say, yeah, you did a good job. You have the invisibility spell. And then you're off. Yeah, the invisibility spell will last for 15 seconds per level. So you're going to bring it to level 3. So that's what I needed my additional karma for. So I still have enough to put points into body, but definitely, definitely needed to use that. And that's why it's a good thing that I've been using save states to get through this. So, using karma, we're going to use magic, bring invisibility to 3. We're going to bring computer up to 6. And then we still have enough. Like, magic has to be at 8, and we have enough to bring body to 4. But that's where that extra karma went.
And that's about it for the end game, right?
You don't need magic any higher. You do need strength to have one more point in it, so you can wear the endgame armor and weapon. So your strength's going to end at 5. And what was the other thing? Yeah, you're going to put another point into invisibility, and if you can, you're going to put more points into body just because it makes the end a whole lot safer. There's no way to guarantee that you can get through the computers. It's just RNG. So I'm going to use invisibility. We're going to use the cyber deck. Like I said, I like to preserve menus, so if I can remember to do it, I like to activate the invisibility spell in the same menu as I grab the cyber deck. So that's going to open the elevator. When you bring your cursor over to Steelfly, if I push the Y button, it's going to bring up his inventory, and you can see he's got a cyber deck as well. His is a Fuji Cyber 6. It's very nice. So that means if I'm standing near a computer, I can use his cyber deck. So we're going to cast invisibility on Kitsune, and she's going to cast invisibility on me. And if there's no enemy in the screen, you can use the cyber deck. So we're going to wait until they all leave the screen. We're just going to use the cyber deck and completely ignore this combat, because that's what invisibility allows you to do. And yeah, I'm not going to spend, again, too much time on the route. You can watch where I move to sort of learn the route for these, but in general, just it's worth just taking the time to figure out, you know. When we come out of here, we're going to cast invisibility again. I'm just going to cast it on myself. It's better to cast it on her too, but it's not faster, so I'm just going to take the risk. The second level, we actually do have to fight. because the computer is not located off to the side like that. So we're going to use Summon Spirit. I put points into my a point into my body, so I have high enough HP that I'm not super worried about dying here. So I'm not bothering to make myself invisible. I would have to if I didn't have Steel Flight, but he does a lot of damage and he absorbs a lot of damage. All right, so we're going to use him to get in here. Um, it's not how far away he is. It's going to use Jake's positioning. So because Jake is standing near the computer, it's going to get him in there.
It's funny how many times you see volcano reference, but you still need that keyword from that whole ship nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. You could come in here like you don't need the Jester Spirit to kill Drake. See, I failed combat here. If it was just me doing it, then that could have killed me. But Steel Flight has 70 HP, so he's totally fine. You can't get through this computer without combat, which is why I prefer to use Steel Flight over over using Jake himself. And then while I'm waiting for the elevator is a good... Nope, no, I guess not. I was going to say it's a good time to heal up, but... Nope. So you're going to have to fight on floors 3 and 5. Basically all the odd-numbered floors. The even-numbered floors you don't have to fight, you're just going to ignore them and use the computer always toward the right. And also, incidentally, those are the computers that don't require any combat with IC, so you can use Jake instead of Steelflight.
Pretty convenient.
Yeah, it's convenient. Like, it's easier to remember that just like, okay, so it's the odd-numbered floors that I need to use Steelflight in the computer, and it's the odd-numbered floors that I need to actually fight. How's her HP? It's not beautiful, so we're gonna cast invisibility on her as well.
I think you said odd twins.
Oh yeah, it's odd both times. The even ones are the ones where you can just do this and completely ignore combat and the computers.
Gotcha.
She's probably gonna have to heal me after this fight. I hate that mage. That mage also like the turns red concept is true here as well. So when that mage turns red, he will wander off screen, and it can be difficult to kill him. Like because he'll wander all the way over here, and it takes longer to get him killed. So we're gonna use Steel Flight again. He's got no HP, so we're just gonna go ahead and heal him real quick. Yeah, I have no HP either, but I can wait until the elevator's been called. So this particular map is used, I think, 3 times in the run, right? And only once, only on this floor right here, which is floor 5, I believe, is it necessary to grab that, to go into this one. So I have to remember the route here. Yeah, this one right here is going to disable a node in the next computer. So if you miss this one, you won't be able to progress. It'll appear like you can, but you actually can't get out. So I mean, this whole layout will look familiar. Like this being in the corner here like this is actually striking and easy to remember, right? Um, but only once do you actually have to do that top corner one. Because the previous world record with Nintendo, he went and grabbed that all 3 times, and it's only useful once. The other times it's just trash data.
Gotcha.
But it'll say right here, you'll know that you did it right because it says level 6 node deactivated. That's what the first little data node did, and elevator activated, obviously. And we're going to heal Jake. How's Kitsune? She's fine. So I'm using Jake's magic points. I'm using Jake's invisibility spell once per level to immediately make Kitsune invisible. Because it's faster to cast it from his, but her spell points are the ones that we're really trying to use. Right? So Jake should, at this point, have 45 spell points. That's going to be enough. If he doesn't have that much, it could be a problem. And I don't know why I bothered with Steel Flight here, because this is an even-numbered floor, which means you don't need to use him. You can just use Jake. There's not going to be any combat with IC. You're just going to go through here. And this is the same as it was on the ground floor. So I ever explained to you how IC combat works?
No.
So there's a great guide by... Oh, she's about to die. Damn it. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. Which I should not, but I don't want to load. This would be a run pretty much dead, but I'm pretty sure I can make through here because I'm going to be abusing save states.
Do you have a rewind?
Is that a thing?
In the emulator?
Yeah, I'm in the emulator.
See if there's a rewind feature real fast. Pause it.
So you go emulation, pause, and then it's just pause when inactive and frame advance. I don't think I have a rewind for this SNES 9X.
What about in the binds menu?
Where's that? Oh, customize hotkeys. Speed, fast forward.
It's page
Dude, there's a rewind button?
Yeah.
So I can... Rewind is disabled. How do you enable it?
Try unpausing and then rewind.
Nah, doesn't look like it. How far back did I say? Yeah, I saved too far back. It's fine. I'm gonna lose... Like, I didn't use any slap patches, so I'm gonna be fine. But normally this would be a dead run.
Gotcha.
It says you can barely hear Edgeworth. Let me see if I can fix that.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of quiet. I don't know.
Here, try again.
Hello?
Okay, that should be better.
Alright.
Thanks, Oaf. Okay, so we asked him about Volcano, and he's going to fly us to the volcano. At this point, Kitsune didn't have a whole lot of magic points left, and she was basically just going to heal us a couple times and cast invisibility a couple times. So I'm just going to try to view save states. Like normally you'd cast invisibility here with Kitsune, so you can get past this dude without taking much damage. But he usually doesn't do too much damage, as you can see. So it's just sort of like a safety thing. Go into here. We're going to use Steel Flat's computer. Man, that was stupid of me. All right, so this is another one of those computers where, like, you can see I could grab that one, but I don't need it in this time. So this is the same layout as before, but this time I only need this one. Okay. And then again, it would be nice to be invisible here, but it's not required. Okay, we go to sub-level 2. There's a dude with grenades here, and Steelflight will instantly kill him. Okay. And yeah, Steelflight again using this computer. And Kitsune would usually be dead by now, so I didn't lose too much. This can be a real stressful computer because you use combat 6 times. So I'm sorry, I didn't finish that. The way combat works is you have X out of 7 chance of succeeding, where X is your computer skill. So your computer skill maxes out at 6, meaning at best you have a 6 out of 7 chance of beating any of those IC, and a 1 out of 7 chance of failing combat. And then depending on the strength of the IC, it'll do an amount of damage to you. The most powerful ones do between 1 and 48. So considering my max HP is 40, having it randomly do 48 damage to me is a run killer. So this room we're going to cast invisibility. We have 38 magic points left, so we've got a few more casts of it. You have to use it to get past here. There's a room in sub C you have to use it to get past. We're just going through here, and oh man, that almost hurt me. Well, it almost killed me, yeah. But like I said, I've got these slap patches that I'm going to use. The computers in here have a lot of money in them, but obviously you don't need it.
Yeah, it's like the chests in Skype got some of the vanilla.
Yeah, exactly. Or in the Temple of Fiends, the validation chests that have all that money, and you're like, what am I going to spend this on? Okay, so I'm going to save real quick because I want to show what this IC looks like. This is a sort of a exception to the rule because it's just easier to get past when you see what it looks like. It's a big old T. So you're going to get past this like that. But of course, you're not going to bother killing it. You're just going to... So this computer, again, like it would be a lot more stressful if I didn't have Steel Flight. So if there's any need to, like if I lose combat because of bad RNG, it'll be Steel Flight that takes the damage, not Jake. So we're going to cast invisibility here and just run straight past these dudes. Steelflight has so much HP and such high defense that he usually is going to make it through here without having any attention paid to him at all. So you're just going to run past all of this security, run past all of this security. And now we're at the really cool epic boss battle in the game. It's Drake. So I'm going to heal up before we do that. You can see it costs 6 magic points, so I just barely have enough to cast heal twice. I'm going to take the time to cast it on Steelflight, though normally I wouldn't. And yeah, this is a complicated fight. Here, you can see when you're back here, he's going to attack with ice. And this ice is really annoying because not only will it freeze you, it'll damage you. Um, but it's way better when you get up close. He's going to roast you, and that kills you very quickly. You could see that was a lot of damage, right? And the fight is designed so like when you're close enough to shoot him, he's going to be using fire. So this fight is cheesed. First of all, Jester Spirit is an item that can be used here, and Jester Spirit is going to set his HP to 3/4, or I'm sorry, 1/4 rather. It's going to do 3/4 damage to him. But damaging him during that little cutscene is useless because it just sets his HP to it at the end, right? And then it's also going to pause his attacks while he's doing that. And then you're going to run. See right here, you're gonna run to this one, and where I'm standing about right now. Nope, I'm a little off. There we go. Right now, you can see you can just barely target him. So I'm gonna have Steel Flat move here, and he's gonna catch the ice for me. So that ice would normally have frozen me, but because I got Steel Flat standing there, it's gonna freeze him instead. And then I'm just gonna hold A. And that's how you cheese Drake. Of course, there's one pattern of ice that actually hits you, and he's going to use it on me 3 times. So I could actually have died there because Drake is a jerk. But most of the patterns most of the patterns go around you, as you can see. So when you're standing still, you're only vulnerable to a couple of them. And having Steel Flight stand on top of you, you're mostly going to dodge them. Except for that one. So of course he keeps spamming that pattern. But yeah, this is typically an epic boss battle. He's still spamming that damn pattern. But yeah, typically an epic boss battle, but immediately ended by a cheese. So I'm going to do that one more time, just to show how it's supposed to go. You know, you're going to walk in, you're going to immediately use the Jester Spirit. Right? You're going to, you can see the first shadow right over here. You're going to sort of stand on that shadow. And you're going to come a little bit past this 4th line. And you can sort of see from where your health bar lines up along the fence that you're in the right spot. And yeah, like I've actually, I've actually lost this. I've lost runs because I had too much HP. Because I didn't have that visual cue with my health bar, and I couldn't find the right place to stand, and just got murdered by Drake, which is a really embarrassing way to lose. But yeah, having Steel Flat's damage here will make it a lot faster. So Drake's gonna die. He's got a little cutscene, and then it moves you back over here. You're gonna talk to Professor Pushkin here, and you're just going to say head computer, and then he's gonna fly you back. And now you have the code to get into the Aneki building, which is the last place you have to be. This is a little bit dangerous when you don't have any heal. You don't have any magic points left, but mostly if you just hold up and left, or up and right rather, you're just going to continually just take the elevator. And yeah, and that's Drake. The previous routes all would leave halfway through and go rest. So that's a big area where I save time. You can see in my split, I did it in 1 hour, 1 minute. You can actually do it sub hour if everything goes really well. And yeah, that's a pretty big time save. So last time we're using the bed, we're gonna bring invisibility up to 4. We're gonna bring strength up to 5. And if we have enough to bring body up, then we want to bring heal up as well. So we actually have a lot. We're going to bring body to 6 because, yeah, we got a lot of karma on that. So we're going to make one last trip to the Dark Blade weapon shop, and we're going to buy the assault cannon. The weapon we have currently does between 1 and 8 damage. The assault cannon does between 1 and 20, so it's a bit of an upgrade. Oh, that's not it. So yeah, we're going to have to sell the Uzi 3 times. So we give it to the shopkeeper and then ourselves, same as before. I believe I screwed this up like a lot in my world record run. Like I was nervous because I just beat Drake in 101 and I could feel the world record coming, so of course I screwed it up. So you buy the assault cannon, and before you equip it, uh, you're gonna sell it once for the 20k. And that 20k is going to allow you to buy this partial bodysuit. So now we have the assault cannon, and our armor is up to 5. Usually Steelflight will have left or will be dead at this point, but in this case he's still around. He's a liability at this point, so we're going to get rid of him once we're at Aneki. Because he just contributes to lag. Back up here is a Neki building. These dudes out front can't damage you, so there's no point in casting invisibility here. But I should have it queued up.
So can you just get, like, let Steelflight get hit by a car or something?
You can, but I mean, because I just arrested, he's got 100 HP. So it would take a long time for him to get killed by cars.
It's a lot of cars.
Yeah. Fortunately, we just bought the assault cannon, which, like I said, can do up to 20 damage. So we're going to kill him while we're waiting for this elevator. The little barrier that just blew up here, that barrier will not blow up until you've killed Drake. So, okay, so we're waiting for the elevator, and real quick, 13, 12, you see, this gun does a lot of damage. Okay, we're going to cast invisibility real quick, and then these guys do a lot of damage, even with our additional armor, but, I mean, it's fish in a barrel when you've got invisibility, so... Gonna real quickly kill everybody in here. And then this here is the most complicated computer. Oh, I used Cred Stick. Probably not going to work. It's the most complicated computer in the game. This is the one that takes the longest time to map out. So, I mean, you can just sort of watch me, but... You can see all these areas are really small, but there's a lot of them, and they all connect. So you can see, even though I'm choosing my routes to avoid most of the IC, there was still combat with two of them. And like I said, there's a 1 in 7 chance that you'll fail combat. And depending on how much max HP you have, that could end your run right there. Because they can do anywhere between 1 and 48 damage. So if your max HP is 40, it can kill you. And even with a max HP of 60, all it has to do is you have to fail twice, which is how I lost a run that was on pace to be better than this one. So I said that RNG came back in at the end, and it does here. Anyway, floor 2 is the only one where you have to go both directions. On floor 2, you have to do 2 computers. Every other floor is just the 1 computer. So we're in the home stretch now. Oh, forgot about that one. I feel like I did that wrong. Oh, we're fine. So, see, it said level 3 node deactivated. Yeah, you can't progress until you've done that. And I'm just going to leave and enter the screen again, because that's going to make the elevator go faster. So do you remember in the Drake Tower building how we were just ignoring combat with invisibility and running to the side?
Yeah.
Can do that again here. Oh, not quite.
All that really matters is you scroll them off the screen, right?
Yep. If only we had potion glitch, it'd be a lot faster, but... yeah, you scroll them off the screen, and then you have to be careful. Yeah, you see I very nearly died. I'm just going to save real quick, just in case. But you see how it failed combat and nearly one-shot me?
Yeah.
There's no way to prevent that except to have more HP. You can die at any time in these computers. And this one, you have a lot of these diamonds. The one that you need is at the bottom of this face right here. Alright, so you can grab all the other ones, but if you don't grab this one, then it won't do anything. And it's sort of dangerous because now I have like no HP. So these guys could easily kill me. And they did. And that's one of the reasons. And then the IC killed me. So yeah, this Aneki building is it's going to get the heart racing because you could very easily lose a run here. You know what? I'm gonna heal. Oh man. Wow.
It's a lot of 1/7s.
Yeah, right? Like, it just happens.
Like, I don't know how the RNG works, but I don't know, you're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, like, when I'm loading the save state and doing the exact same thing, I don't know, maybe I'm getting it on the same frame and it's doing it in the same... I don't know. But, here I'm gonna do something I probably wouldn't and heal. Yeah, see, in that time I didn't take any damage because, of course, now that I've healed. When that door is open, a troll decker will come out and he will wreck you. So make sure make sure to be aware of that. Fourth floor. So we've got two more computers left in the game. This massive orc will turn red and run all the way to the left of the screen, which can be really annoying because you have to move to kill him. So I try to shoot at him when he's farther to the right, so I have a little bit more time. This is the second last computer. I've got 50 HP, so no one IC can one-shot me, but it's still, like I said, it's always a stressful time in the Ineki building. Because this computer, you have 6 combats. If you really need to, you can avoid combat in this room by just going all the way around, but you're losing a lot of time. So, like, if... Yeah, so if you fail combat in here, and you're at, like, 1 HP, and you're like, oh, I can't fail again, but I want to finish the run, you can, you could learn this as a backup, but I'm way more likely to just go for it. At this point, you're going to be an hour in, and it sucks to lose a run after an hour, but it's not the end of the world. It's not like you're losing a 6-hour run. The elevator's going down, so I'm just going to keep moving to move it back. Okay, and last fight here. Sort of anticlimactic after you fought a dragon. You have to fight a dude with a machine gun, same as before. He's got the name Otto, but you barely notice that he exists. Alright. I'm going to heal just for funsies. And I'm going to save just for funsies because I have lost a run here. There are 2 IC that you have left to kill on this AI computer. So this is the end of the run right here. But that doesn't mean that you can't die to something stupid. So this is like, you're always going to initiate combat just to kill the IC here, but you can see it's got sort of a pattern here. You're just going to kill this one and then do it. Little clutch with a raid, thank you. We're going over the route for a world record run of Shadowrun, and then we're going to watch the record that was done and talk about how available it is to be beaten. So, see how that one IC just nailed me? If it nailed me again, that would be how I lost another run. You can see, you can approach this one from the back. You're just going to go above this and go around. But yeah, these IC, they do a lot of damage, and they will wreck you. Is my mic a little low? Thank you. So yeah, I lost a run that was going to be 112, so it was going to be about a minute faster than the current record. And I lost it right here to this last IC. It was a little frustrating, but I managed to get the world record 2 hours later. But yeah, once I hit out of here, time will be after I exit out of this program downloaded. So I hit any button, and there, that's time. And that's Shadowrun. I mean, it doesn't have a whole lot of tech to it. There's the duplicating items and everything, but mostly it's a pretty straightforward game. And well, little Clutch, I hope you find the time to jump into it because, like I said, the world record is wide open right now. I mean, I've got it, and I'm going to try to improve it. But anybody else could easily take it from me, and I wouldn't be sad to have more people running it. Anyway, Ed, you still around?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Cool. So, I mean, is there anything that you think I missed or should mention before we move on?
No, I think that about covered it. Just very important to be very quick with your menus when you're casting invisibility because that can stack up a lot of damage. If you delay a little bit before you start going into it.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I didn't actually really get into why, but that's why. Where am I? Here. So you can see how long it takes to cast heal, right? Like it's not slow, but it's not instantaneous. Whereas if you have a slat patch, which this save doesn't have, probably won't here. If you have a slat patch, right? What makes the slat patches safer is I can like when I hit the Y button to bring up the slat patch, it brings up a menu which pauses the game, and then when I use it again, the game is paused right now. So I can use a slat patch on myself instantly. So if I have like under 10 HP and I'm worried that I'm about to die, you can hit the Y button to sort of save yourself. And yes, Little Clutch, I actually have played. I haven't played the Genesis one in a long while, but I've played all the Shadowrun Returns, and I've even played the mod that they made for Shadowrun Returns to basically recreate this game. So it's got the same plot, and all the items are in the same locations. So that's an interesting thing that's out there. Anyway, we're going to jump to just sort of breaking down the world record run that I had, and I don't want to say how bad it is, but how open it is to being replaced. So, I mean, probably starting tomorrow, I'm going to try more runs of this and try to get it going. But yeah, this is. I mean, it was a good run, but it wasn't perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it gives you more reason to run it again, right?
Absolutely, which is it's an exciting thing. It's possible to redo this run. So I'm gonna run the timer just to give an idea of where this is. So my splits aren't going to be perfectly accurate here, but yeah, you'll be able to see like where I bumped into stuff or anything like that. But it's also good to just sort of see what we just went over and just see it all play out here. And you can see I got the slap patch there without having to open the fridge. If you do accidentally have to open the fridge, it costs you half a second. It's fine.
It's still really just grease the.
Well, I mean, I did for a while, but the first fight can take like its variance is going to be easily plus or minus like 5 or 6 seconds, right? So really, you don't have to worry too much about losing a half second at the beginning. Just get through that first fight, because if the RNG is good, then you'll be able to progress from there. Yeah, I was real lucky because I didn't have a hitman there. So like I said, you can have taken 15 damage by now, and that's one of the things I'm more likely to reset a run out.
Go quick pick up on the dog collar.
Yeah, I mean, I've reset so many runs that I'm pretty good at the early portion of the game now. um, I'm not nearly as crisp later on. And it looks like my timer's a little slow here. So yeah, I'm gonna pause this for a second because I got out of here at 2:43, which was a pretty good time. Yeah, so you can see I'm trying to get into position so I can take the iced tea from as far away from the counter as I can. I mean, it's not an important optimization, but I've got nothing else to do. And there should be sound. There we go. So you might hear my annoying voice cutting in here. And there it is. Oh, why is it doing that? But yeah, you can see like the first time I'm actually doing really well. I had a really good fight early, and got out of there ahead of the what was the existing world record at the time. So um, yeah, this is going to allow me to get sub 7, which is really unlikely, and it's sort of difficult to do. But it also doesn't matter nearly as much as you'd think because even though I'm going to get like a sub 7, I can lose all of that time just to RNG in the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your accuracy at this point is 2 out of 8, meaning I am going to hit with my uh, Beretta pistol. I'm gonna hit 1 in 4 times. So you can sit there and fire for 20 seconds and not hit anything.
Not to mention too, shooting the king, you could also roll zeros as well, so it's even worse.
Yeah, exactly. You can just sit there and shoot at him for 20, 25 seconds and have that time disappear. Or you can get really lucky and have the grenades kill him outright. And then you don't even need to worry about that. You're going to hear me say a world record pace during this record a lot because it was sort of a meme. Any time I completed the route, I was expected to be on world record pace just because, I mean, the route saves so much time now. Yeah. So I think you can tell this early game is pretty crisp. I've done this early game over and over and over again, and I've had like you can count on 2 hands the number of runs that I've had get past Bremerton.
And that's one of the reasons why it's useful to have save states all throughout the game, so you can kind of practice those late game situations. There are times where it's just, man, I don't want to finish a run, but then you miss out on that late game practice.
Yeah. There's a miss menu there when I asked her about firearms, so this could actually have been a way better split than it already was. But yeah, um, a lot of the time when you fail, it's going to render a run unfinishable. Like a lot of the time you die or Kitsune dies way too early, and you just can't finish. So you sort of do what you can. Oh, I didn't hit the split there.
You just get him stuck on the barrel,
Yeah,
and then you miss like 50 times in a row.
yeah, he has like 24, 25 HP, something like that. Um, and it can just be a slog. There was a point where I was considering hiring Hamfist and having him shoot a bunch of ghouls to get me enough, just one karma, so I could hit more accurately. But it's just not worth it. And you can see, I'm going to immediately use a grenade on this guy. I believe it did enough damage. Yeah, 6 is exactly how much damage you need to turn him red. You could theoretically get through this with only 5, or without using a grenade, and use 6 grenades on the king, but it's less consistent, and I'd prefer to just get through consistently. So and there's more arena fights here with more karma and more money that you can have, but it's just not fast to do them.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of burning your quick setups on these last two fights, so you just coming back here takes too much time, and you don't have it to do it right now.
Oh yeah, I mean you can do the fights without grenades, but it's hard and it's RNG dependent. So I typically don't. So yeah, 920 is a really great time to kill the king on. The previous world record had him killed at about like 10:30 or something like that. So I mean, like I said, the way that I'm doing it, it's less safe, but it's so much faster. And I don't remember how many times I screwed up. I think I screwed up like 5 or 6 times here. So you see, like I said, I'm like a minute 10 ahead of the previous world record. I'm gonna bleed all of that time trying to sell to this damn dwarf. So I'm gonna count my mistakes here. We'll see how many times I screwed it up. I think I was fine with the armor, and I started screwing up on the gun. It's not frame perfect. I don't think. I think it's like 2 or 3 frames. Yeah, and the dwarf will move out of range, and it's way harder when he moves to the left like this because that gun case in front of him, you can select that instead of the dwarf by mistake. So his hitbox is a little smaller. So far, I mean, I hit start when I shouldn't have, but I didn't really screw up. But then we'll see how we do with this gun. That's one screw up. I'm stressed out just rewatching this part. Yeah, see, I give it to the gun case, right, and that so that's two screw ups, and that's two extra times I had to open the menu. So that's like um, 5 6 seconds lost right there. There's another screw up. Now I'm using the mesh jacket for some reason instead of the gun, and then I realize what I'm doing. Meanwhile, the clock is still going, man. Okay, so after all that, I screwed up like 4 times. Lost probably about 20 25 seconds there, just doing that. And I'm finally out of the dwarf there. So yeah, I mean that split. Majority of the time, I would get to the dwarf significantly ahead of world record, and I would leave significantly behind because the previous world record, Vidtendo, he did not fail that once, and that's sort of hard to live up to.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting better at it, but it can be difficult. That's I think the one obstacle between being between just like starting and being really good, right? Like anything else in this game, someone could just pick it up and do it, right? So there's just that one trick right there where you're duping items, and if you can get that, then you can get a world record on this. So you can see, like, I was at about 15 minutes when I was exiting. So that's about where you want to be. Anything faster than 15 minutes is pretty good. Anything slower is not. And that little cutscene is a good time to just sort of evaluate your run and decide whether it's best to keep going or not. It makes me sad that I don't have anything to do, like no menuing to be done or anything like that while I'm waiting for the train.
It's like you've gotten in the habit of queuing up all of these actions in different areas, but you just have to sit here.
Yeah, exactly. It's a time in the run where you can actually take a breather, but that's not really like you because you feel slow while you're doing it. And I'm mumbling again about being on world record pace because I mean I technically like I said I'm on world record pace when I start the game just because the route is better. Yeah. If anyone has any questions about this in chat, feel free to throw them out there. this is a pretty straightforward part of the run.
This is nothing to do. Gonna hop on the monorail. That's about it.
Yeah. A lot of credit goes to Jesse for doing the bulk of the routing for this. Like, his route, like, I improved it a great deal, but this is still essentially his route. And, I mean, it's the route required by the progression of the game, but it's also, I mean, a lot of things he figured out just in terms of efficiency there. And I should probably also mention that the Admiral did a great guide on GameFAQs. It was last updated 11 years ago, but it's still one of the only places where you can find like the total HP of all the enemies and exactly how much XP they give you. That if anybody wants to make changes to the route instead of just learning it, you know, I'm sure this route could be improved. And the first step would be checking that guide out and figuring out what XP is available where, etc. I think I wound up using all three slap patches, so I'm glad I purchased three. But I'm always tempted to just buy two. Why are you doing that?
I remember you talked about that as a possible time save, only buying two, but I mean, you could always go faster by cutting corners on safeties, but that just makes things less reliable.
Yeah, it's one of the things where this route or this record was not competitive enough yet for me to really worry about that. Right, where I could be confident that, like, if people were really working in this, then it would be at the point where, like, you would not have a run progress past the king unless he was killed by the grenades, because that's just faster, right? But at this point, you don't need that. You know, like, I think sub 110 is possible, but I mean, there's a lot of easier ways to shave 2 minutes off this, or 3 minutes. All right. I think that I handled the sound issue, but we'll see. Pretty sure Orifice died early in this one, which was useful to me because, you know, it meant I didn't have to kill him at Jagged Nails. Maybe not. And grenades, like, usually you'll be able to kill this gang leader with 6 grenades. Um, I'm pretty sure I got unlucky here. I had sort of a run of bad luck in this room where the grenades would just never kill the gang leader outright. Okay, and I'm gonna almost use like I have to move because I had people standing in front of me, so I couldn't use a slap hatch on myself. So that lost me a little bit of time. But yeah, all told, that Rustilettos went pretty well, despite the grenades low rolling.
It's like when you don't have any health at all, that's when all the hitmen show up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know the RNG is not actually random. It does know you're trying to win, and it will find a way to screw you.
Game knows, man.
Thought I had it solved, man. Probably streamer mode or something. All right, you talk for a little bit, Edgeworth. I gotta figure this out.
Yeah, right. So now it's time to go exterminate some rats. But take a quick trip to the docks and remember to talk to this guy. It's important. You could just run by and wave. You got what you came for. The docks keyword, pretty important. Otherwise, where are you gonna put all that ice? Pick up the heal spell, and then you beat up some rats.
Yeah, um, pretty much. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have any way of fixing this. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna have audio issues for the remainder of this video, but I'm trying to just play with the slider as best I can. Yeah, and it's one of those things. Like I said, I've missed that docs keyword a few times. I think the other thing that I always forget at the docks is going back to get the invisibility spell. In fact, I know that while I was going over the route, I forgot to do it and had to go back. So just little things. They're sort of easy to forget, and like if you do, you know, your run can be over for like a really stupid reason. In this room, I had a run that was probably the fastest I'd ever been up to this point. Right, I was probably about a minute and a half ahead, and it ended to a glitch where I tried to cast a spell with Kitsune and she just died.
Magic is dangerous, man.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I'll lose time here because uh, he gets a little cheeky with his freeze spell. So I'm casting Summon Spirit, and it's like you see 24. That's a high roll, but now I can't do anything, and I can't tell her to cast anything while I'm frozen. And then he immediately freezes me again.
Norbert trying his hardest, only doing 1 damage when it actually lands.
Yeah, Steel Flat does more damage, but not by a lot. It's it's frustrating with Steel Flat. Well, it's frustrating anyway.
Great team.
Yeah, it's sort of useful that she initiates dialogue there, because she's the next person you have to talk to. I think that's by design. I think they knew that, you know, you're going to go around everywhere asking about the Jester Spirit, trying to figure out who's going to tell you what to do next. Now I took the time to kill Norbit there.
Well, I mean, we were in a graveyard. It makes sense, right?
Oh yeah, less work for the Undertaker. Although it was actually technically not optimal. Would have been better for me to kill him after like one of these encounters, just in case he took damage there. That said, I only theoretically possibly lost like less than a second. Right? Like I lost potentially one shot out of the gun there, so not a big deal.
Time to cash in that giant pile of karma.
Yeah, and I take the time to add to firearms instead of body here, because that is theoretically faster. But like I said, its difference is going to be negligible. Yeah, Will Bloodworth was particularly surprised when he found out that you only sleep 4 times in the new route. You know, people casually are so used to like grinding all this karma and getting everything done, but you really don't need uh, pretty much any HP.
I mean, not when you can print money.
Yeah, I mean, just one gullible dwarf is enough to handle most issues. It's a little bit of irony that when you sell to him, he jokes about having ripped you off. He says, "Oh, you're a sucker." You know, he's like, "Nah, just kidding. I never cheat my friends or anything like that." Well, I cheated you, buddy. Like I just sort of extracted 45K from you without giving you anything. So
Well, I mean, when you're handing him the same thing repeatedly, like he kind of has it coming, you know.
yeah, he's like, "Wow, we really stocked up on our shirts or our mesh jackets one at a time." Wait, we don't have any? What? So I was supposed to go up there, and this is me going completely the wrong direction?
I definitely remember this part. Like, why am I here? I wanted to hang out with the dog for a little bit.
Well,
Eventually, you find you figured it out.
yeah, I was lucky to not get into too many encounters on the way because, like, I could have lost the run because Steel Flight took too many fights and wound up leaving before Drake Tower. Like that can happen. But fortunately, in Bremerton, I didn't have too many encounters, and yeah, it's good. I lost something like 20, 25 seconds there, just going the wrong way. You know, anybody redoing this route could easily make up that time that I lost. I mean, so can I, and I mean that's one of the reasons that I'm still going to be running this category. But Yeah, I want more names on that leaderboard. I don't want to be first out of four. I'd much rather be second out of 12 than first out of four.
That room is laid out is pretty annoying because you can't scroll the enemies off the screen. So your Shadowrunners are just going to get shot.
Yep, and you wind up taking like not only do you take damage, but there's also a fair amount of lag for some reason when you're behind that area. So it takes longer for you to cross the room behind the wall than it does anywhere else. Killing the enemies would theoretically make that go faster, but it wouldn't be faster overall to do that. So just sort of have to live with it.
Give them the stake.
Yeah, he'll give you between 4 and 5 karma because enemies don't give a set amount of karma; they give a set amount of exp. Um, eight experience points is 1 karma point. So, depending on what other random encounters your Shadowrunners killed on the way, you might be have more or less HP. I lost time there checking that menu. Didn't need to do that. I'm breaking my rule there because in general, I don't want to be checking them. If I think that somebody might need more HP, I will just heal them. So this time I managed to do the trick the one time without having to try again. But yeah, you can see it's 34 minutes into the run, so it's about 20 minutes later than the time you have to do it 12 times. So yeah, it's a lot lower stress because you only have to do it once.
Well, while you're headed over to the docks, I'm going to go get myself a cookie. I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah. Meantime, I'm gonna go into the wastelands. Um, if I didn't have the ice keyword, I could pick it up again, but it's just easier to have it already. Gonna talk to the busy man. You know, he needs to sell me some ice, and he's gonna place it in the docks for me because otherwise there's gonna be mermaid problems. Yeah. So yeah, despite the minor audio issues, feel like this is hopefully going to be a pretty good guide for people. I'd like to see more people running this game, um, and like it's sort of low hanging fruit right now. Like you can see, I've lost a significant amount of time on this world record, right? So like watching the world record, you can just be like, I could do the same thing better. There's no need to improve the route, although there are instances where you can, and there's a like there's not a lot of complex crap to learn. You can just sort of grind out a run. And we're off to Bremerton. This is where the majority of the time is saved. Well, actually, I shouldn't say the majority. This is one of the two big splits where time is saved. It's Jester, it's Drake, and it's the King. So because I always take so long dealing with the dwarf, this is the first time where I expected to see a lot of green splits. Use the crowbar in here. Yeah, these little puddles, I just hate taking the time to pull out the gun and shoot them, but sometimes they stay in the way, so sometimes you sort of need to. And here we're just hoping for as few encounters as possible, partly because it makes it so steel flight sticks around longer, and partly because it's faster. And we got pretty lucky in terms of the encounters here. We saved a lot of time, but we did not gain a lot of karma in here. Okay. Yeah, picking this thing up, and I'm pretty sure this particular split um, was fairly easy. Um, Not a whole lot of encounters. I got pretty lucky here. And then once again, I'm just gonna ignore that switch. I'm gonna ignore that switch, and switchless is not easy, but it's like if you got a setup and everything, it goes much faster.
Yeah, running into mages isn't bad either. They go down way faster.
Oh, did that thing not update? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, there's a lot of mages on the this particular area of it. Before it was all heavy dudes, but yeah, mages they go down a lot faster.
All this for just a green bottle.
Yeah, again, if anybody ever figures out a way to get past those toxic wastes without that green bottle, I mean, it stops you from having to get the explosives and the detonator. It stops you from having to get go all the way down there and grab the green bottle. You can save all of that time. Just the majority of the time you spend in the Bremerton, you don't need to do. Easily save 5 minutes, probably more. But so far, I haven't been able to find a way past them. And I've spent a fair amount of time just trying to wiggle my way past. It doesn't work, or it hasn't worked. Maybe there's like an armor spell or a way to use like a power ball to damage boost or something. But no.
It just seems like they never want to come out far enough where you can like sneak through. And even then, you gotta get past them again.
Well, I mean, if you can just get far enough to get close enough to that switch the first time, right? You don't even need to get past them as long as like you can get just close enough to hit the switch.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the second switch that detonates the mines, it's fast, but I mean, it's not 5 minutes fast. Like I can just get past with healing if that's what it takes. Pretty sure I'm gonna accidentally cancel a summon spirit here or something. Yeah, see, I cast it too quickly there. If you tell her to cast summon spirit while summon spirit's already active, she won't cast it. The spell will just fizzle. But here I'm actually counting how many balls he throws out there because I want to approach when it's safe, when he's like reloading there. And I was lucky because she actually managed to kill him just with the summon spirits. And that covers the Bremerton. Um, yeah, pretty good time there. I believe it was 44:09. And yeah, this time I actually remembered to go get the invisibility spell. Because in the middle of a run, I'm basically saying to myself, don't forget the invisibility spell. Don't forget the invisibility spell.
Pretty important.
Yeah, it allows you to get through the last two, I guess, two or three, depending on your outlook, whether you consider Drake Tower and Volcano one, but it lets you get through the last two or three runs. The last two or three missions. So yeah, we're gonna sleep, and we're gonna discover in this instance that our karma is really low. So we're not gonna have a chance to increase our body to 4. We're just gonna have to tough it out with 3. Just hope for the best. And you don't gain a whole lot of karma in Drake Volcano because you only take one fight, and that's Drake himself, or I guess the dude with the grenades that Steelflight shoots. But yeah, it takes 15 karma to bring your computer skill up, so. I wonder. And there's a like you don't wind up needing any computer skill if you have Steelflight survive all the way through here, but that's not a guarantee. So it's better to have computer skill just so his leaving or dying wouldn't end the run.
It would cost you a little bit of time in menuing as well, since you would have to go to him and then bounce back to the computer.
Yeah, so I mean it's better to use. See, I forgot to switch my spell to invisibility when I opened the computer there. It's better to use your own cyber deck if you can, but only if it's safe. Because I'm not going to lose a run at this stage to stupid RNG. Speaking of, you see, they very nearly just wrecked me there with my 30 HP. I'm sweating my HP a little bit at this point.
Yeah, it's one of those things where because of the RNG, just a bad run of luck in favor of the enemies can. It's 19 damage. That's a ton, even if you don't have 30 HP.
Yep. That's it. Like I said, I got slap patches on, so if they reduce me to say under 10 HP, there's no way I'm not just gonna use a slap patch. In fact, I think I might have I think I might have tried to cast and failed. Okay, yeah, see, like I tried to cast and for whatever reason it canceled, so lost some time there. But I mean, if I ever feel too afraid in this point, I'm just gonna use a slap patch because they can be used instantaneously, essentially. Like they're slower in game time, but they or in real time rather. But as far as the game's concerned, it pauses it to use them. So a lot of safety there. That mage is going to be a jerk and wander off screen. Like I said, once you do enough damage to him, he turns red and he will leave. Steelflight was kind enough to kill him immediately, though. Yeah. Tons of little miss menus and everything. At this point, I was that mage not a good guy. At this point, I was pretty stressed out because this was the second run that I had gotten this far, and it was my second chance at a world record, and I was just so convinced that something was going to go wrong. After RNG screws you a couple times, yeah, you just sort of get to the point where you expect it. Yeah, here I decided to take a risk and have cast from her magic first. It's slightly faster to do it that way, but it's also, you know, she needs to be pretty much at full HP for that not to be a massive risk because she's only wearing a leather jacket and there's a lot of damage from a lot of sources. Usually it's going to be spread around, but if they all, for whatever reason, decide to attack Kitsune, she'll fall pretty quickly.
Stand in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably verify that better than I can. The sound that Zoph makes when you push her down the stairs. I mean, when she falls down the stairs. But
I mean, it's one reason why we don't have stairs now.
it's because the sound that she makes was so annoying that you just put your foot down.
It's not even a matter of safety. It's just I can't hear the sound anymore.
So yeah, once again, this is an odd numbered floor, so we know that there's going to be a fight that we have to take, and we know that it's Steelflag who's going to be sort of volunteering himself into the computer. And he's only got 35 HP, so it would be smart to heal him, but oh, I actually will take the time to heal him, will I? I'm actually looking out for his well-being.
1/7, all it takes.
Yeah, And I'm losing a lot of time. I'm willing to lose a lot of time for safety at this point because, like I said, I know at this point that I'm on pace to get the world record, and I'm not as concerned of it being a fast world record. If I get the world record by 10 seconds, I'm fine with that at this point. I'm like, yeah, I routed in like 3 minutes of time save, so if I get the world record by 10 seconds, I am okay with that. Yeah. So I'm trying to do minor optimizations. I'm trying to cast spells like heal after the elevator's been called, so it's not just idle while it's happening. I wish that these fights weren't so laggy, but casting invisibility and having your character flash, it really lags the game out.
Yeah, it's kind of rough, but there's no real good way around it.
Yeah, I mean, not bringing steel flight would make it a little bit faster because they would stop shooting, but not so much faster that it's worth it. You know, I dread the thought that Sunday you're gonna need to sort of skip out on steel flight to beat this mission or to get like a record in this mission. I accidentally cast heal on myself instead of invisibility like I was trying to. And then I said, well, screw it. It's just, I'm going to take damage. And, like, I could easily have been screwed over there. That very nearly ended me. I think I'm going to use the last slap patch here just to. Oh, and I'm going to miss with it. Oh, man, that was close.
Yeah, 3 out of 30, you're fine.
Yeah, those turrets are doing something like 8 or 9 damage possibly, and take the time to heal there, which is not optimal because I had to stop moving. But at this point, like I said, I'm not thinking super straight. I'm just trying to get this over with. That's a bad place for the troll decker to spawn, but yeah. And I decide, like, she's got 8 HP left, but I decided to just let her die. Yep, she's dead. How's it going, Sansi? So yeah, here we go. We're using the steel flight again to get through here because there's IC to kill. He's the sacrificial lamb. Although, like it's weird. His computer skill is only at 6. It's as high as mine is because it can't be any higher. For some reason, I feel like he always gets better RNG in there. Like I rarely, if ever, have had a steel fight die to any IC, but I will like if he's not there, I will die to him all the time.
It's just because you care.
It's just because then I need to succeed. The RNG knows.
The old Indiana Jones scene, you just shoot the guy.
Yep. And I try to use the cyber deck on steel flight instead of on the computer. Just minor missed menus lose you a little bit of time. I mean, they're not a whole lot, but they add up. I mean, 20 seconds there, 20 seconds here. You know, this run leaves well over a minute on the table just from like not, some from RNG, but just from screw ups, it leaves that much. which is a little bit embarrassing. It means that I should probably get a more crisp run to upload, but at the same time, I'm, like I said, I'm sort of glad that there is so much time on the table, so people can see. This is a good game to run right now. If you run this game in the next couple months, you could get a world record. So this is the last computer in Drake Volcano. It's always a relief to get Steel Flight all the way over there. I've had him leave the room beforehand and just been like, oh, great. Now I have to do this.
Can't I just give you a little more money?
Yeah, right. I still have money. Do you have to leave? I'm printing infinite money. Just let me.
No, you might not survive the walkout.
Yeah, that's also true. He's just like, well, let's I'm assuming that all the enemies that we left behind will just leave us alone. Very nearly died there because the door was in the way, so I couldn't cast invisibility on myself right away. And with only 5 HP, I decided it was worth taking the time to menu and change my spell to heal and then menu back. Not because of this room, but because the next room, they can easily do like 5, 7, 9 damage immediately. You can see I took 7, so I would have died if I hadn't used the heal spell there. Yeah, Steel Flight's almost dead, but I don't think that I'm going to take the time to heal him. I just don't have enough magic points for it. So, gonna heal myself and then sort of risk it at Drake. If I don't execute this properly, I will die. Visually, that looks about right. And then I screw it up by moving. But there we go. And once the fight's at this point, I mean, it's sort of anticlimactic. It's over, right? Like, actually, I guess Drake could theoretically freeze me enough times to kill me. I'm out of magic, but mostly like Steel Flight and Jake will do enough damage to kill him pretty quickly here. And having Steel Flight here saves you probably close to 30 seconds. You see, I'll go to the door, but it'll warp me away from the door anyway. It doesn't matter where you stand. Okay, so without... So this is sort of scary for me. I'm out of magic points. I just have to sort of hope.
It's cool, you got it.
Yeah, I managed to get past him, but like you saw, it shot me twice, one for 0 damage and one for 6. If that 0 had been any more, I would have lost the run right here. And might still be grinding, just trying to get the first world record.
Gonna make it interesting at the end, right?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, this is like as I showed right before this run, like where I had another one that ended at the last IC. Until the run is over, it is not over. Right? There's no victory lap in this game. A Neki building can sort of feel like a victory lap at first. Uh,
No, it's not.
well, I mean, compared to Drake, it's not super hard, right? Like, there's nothing that's super hard to execute, but it's definitely not a victory lap in terms of the RNG. Like it's just going to end a percentage of runs unfairly at that point. Just like, oh, this was a really good run, but the Ineki building said no.
Was.
So yeah, 103 coming in here. You're gonna see me. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to fail to sell this Uzi the second time. So the last time I have, or second last time I have to do this trick, failed once. Oh no, okay, I'm fine there. Did I really only fail it once? Oh no, you know what I did? I failed to sell it. The okay, yeah. So this assault cannon, I'm gonna fail to sell here. That's once. That's twice. Three times. Yep, four times. I get it on the fifth time, and I'm just like, oh man. Every time you lose like however long it takes for you to open the menu. So easily 2 seconds, and probably closer to three. So that means that like I lost just like 15 seconds just there. My heart was racing at this point. I was like, oh my god, I've got another run on world record pace going to a Neki building. And the last two times that it had happened to me, once like several months ago, almost a year ago, when like before I got back into trying to do this, the last time I was grinding world records, I got one all the way to the last computer and died in the last computer. And then, like I said, a couple hours before this particular run, I died on the last IC. So yeah, recently I've had a lot of luck with steel flight sticking around. Like I've had a lot of luck on Bremerton not running into too many encounters. So this is just another example where I'm going to have to kill steel flight here. But for some reason I have no luck with this elevator. It's always going to take like an hour to come down. And I don't understand why. Like, I don't know if it's a global timer or something, but when I watched Nintendo's run, like, the elevator was there for him instantly. Yeah, so pretty sure that I'm gonna fail a combat against one of these IC and have just like another really scary moment. Yeah, here I'm so gun shy that I'm thinking about healing, and I decided not to. But I very nearly like took the time to cast the heal spell here. I've got over 30 HP. Like this is way better than I normally have because like a lot of the time I don't even have enough karma to have more than 30 HP. But I was still like, I don't know. And I'm pretty sure I'll fail a combat against this next IC.
Just heart attack time. Here we go.
Yeah, fortunately, you can avoid all the rest of the IC, so that was the only one that I needed to worry about. All Alright, so I was like, okay, I'm fine now, but oh man. It's a stressful time. 6 HP left. So yeah, it's good that I didn't cast heal because I would have had to cast it again afterward, but still it's just like because you lose time when you have to heal, you have to switch your spell to heal, and then you have to switch it back to invisibility for the next fight. So you lose a lot of menu and time, and there's really no way around it. You have to open the menu twice to heal yourself. So if it could be avoided, that's preferable. But obviously, that's like at this point where I'm on world record pace, I would rather have to heal again. Like I'm gonna heal here. I'd rather have to heal again than have to do the whole run again. I can laugh about it now, but if I had died to RNG here, it would probably be hard for me to laugh at it then.
Yeah.
And this elevator does take its sweet time. But at least screen transitions make it go faster.
Yeah, it's good that that opened that fast too. You're about to run into a troll vector in the hallway.
Oh yeah. I'll lose some time here because I'm not standing on the right side of the computer. You can see I can be way farther to the right, and that'll give me more leeway to use the cyber deck. So that's 4 times that I try and fail to use it. That's probably like 12 seconds right there. But yeah, a reminder at this point, before this run was finished, the world record stood at 1:14:52. So it was fairly easy for me to like I knew if I finished this run, it would be a world record. Oh, I got cheeky there. Instead of walking around, I went to attack that AI or that IC. That was a little. I mean that saves like almost a second, but it also risks like just having the whole run end. So that wasn't really the smartest thing to do.
Yeah, you gotta save time where you can, right?
Yeah, right. I don't know. I was trying to remain in good spirits, and I guess that helped. But yeah, see, when he turns red, he moves to the side and just can't be killed without moving. And then my invisibility wears off. And he's just like it's just a little bit of an annoyance there. And at this point, there were lots of bots spamming my chat, and I was like, "Oh, I wish Edgeworth was here. I wish Brax was here."
The robots were wishing the game good luck.
Yeah, like 2 bots in a row. It was sort of impressive. They just one after the other jumped in here, and I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna stop playing to ban them real quick." So they're immortalized forever at the end of this run.
You gotta scream big.
Yep. And yeah, this gun is a low roll in here just to make things a little bit more annoying. Like I'm
I
ne-
was laughing. You got a couple of ones in there.
yeah, it's like I'm never going to lose, right? Like I'm never going to have them kill me there. I've still got enough magic to cast invisibility again if I really need it. It's just gonna cost me time. That's all it's gonna do. So here, on the last IC, I said this again. Look, one more IC. On the last IC, I'm gonna fail combat the first time. You hear me say, "Oh no."
There's a lot of hesitation, dude.
Yeah, because I could easily have had it happen again. But yeah, that was the world record run. You can see there's a lot of time left that could still be saved.
It was a long ass 20 seconds.
Yeah. Um, yeah, big thanks, Edgeworth, for joining me here and helping me talk through this.
Yeah, no worries. Congrats on the world record, and thanks for putting this together. I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy using this as a resource to take a shot at it.
Well, I really hope so. Like, if I wake up, in a week and discover that my record's been beaten, that's not going to make me sad. I mean, I'll definitely try to get it back, but um, it would be really encouraging to see more people running this game because it's a real rewarding game, and I think that it's like it received when it came out. It received a whole lot of accolades, and it's considered one of the top 100 games, etc. But it didn't sell very well, and so a lot of people just never played this. And here's hoping as a result of this that more people get playing it. But yeah, anyone that sees this, you can follow Edgeworth at twitch.tv/edgestream. He runs a lot of the Final Fantasy randomizer, the Final Fantasy VI rando, and some of like the Dorito hunts for Link to the Past. And I also wanted to shout out VidTendo. He had the previous world record, and he was pretty encouraging. Edgeworth and Ice Blue were also very encouraging to me when I was trying to do this. If you ever feel like stressed out and like frustrated, you can watch Ice Blue be more frustrated, and it'll help. And yeah, again, I got to shout out the Admiral and his amazing guide on game facts. It's still out there, and anybody who's looking to improve the route, the first place to start I would recommend is looking at that game facts guide.